Barcelona and Nike are negotiating a mega contract that is very advanced at the moment. The figures are similar to the offers that was presented by Puma. It has been reported that Barcelona are going to be earning 120 million euros per year for the next 10 years, with a signing bonus of 100 million euros. With this deal being made, it does show to us the strong relationships between Barcelona and Nike. We don't necessarily see all the time like Nike presenting a 1.2 billion euro offer to a club, and it also does show just how big of a brand FC Barcelona is, because Nike do believe that if they want to show their logo in front of many fans, they can do that by having their logo presented by FC Barcelona, because FC Barcelona do have a huge audience. So these figures is going to be a huge financial boost for Barcelona. It's a huge deal for Joan Laporta in order for them to make better financial deals when it comes to their squad. And if you guys are wondering, right, whether Nike has already worked with Barcelona to make a jersey, because many might assume that because they have just agreed on a deal, they're going to start working on producing jerseys and looking for different ideas. But Nike have already been working with Barcelona to create their next season's jerseys, and it's already been finished basically. Like, they have everything ready. And these are the leaked photos that has been assembled about 2 or 3 months ago and leaked by Foodie Headlines. As you can see here that they're going to go for a half blue, half red type of jersey. It's a really nice one. You can also see the Nike logo as expected with the Barcelona crest in the middle. And then you have the Spotify logo right underneath it. From the back side, you can also see another sponsored logo. It looks really nice. And if you guys are also wondering what's going to be like on the back of the shirt, obviously it's going to be the name and also the number. It looks really, really nice. It really does remind me of the 2009 jersey. Here's also going to be another picture on how it's going to look like with a player like Pedri putting on the shirt. Again, it looks really, really nice. Nike do have many different drafts on how Barcelona's jersey is going to be introduced for the next season. As you can see here that there's many different versions. There is the most likely, the alternative, the other alternative, and then you have the third alternative in the bottom right corner. I am for sure going to be buying one of these jerseys because they look very simple, but at the same time, it does stand out and it does have that sexy feeling. I'm not going to lie. I really do like the shirt. And so in the end, this is good news because we have to remember that Libero did fail to make a payment to Barcelona. Barcelona agreed to sell a portion of Barca Studios for 40 million euros, and Libero was supposed to pay Joan Laporta the full 40 million euros a few months ago, which never happened. It was supposed to be one of those economic levers that would be able to strengthen the squad or increase our salary budget, but it never came in, and that is why Barcelona through this season had to suffer a lot financially. Moving away from that, we're also going to be talking about another source of income that Joan Laporta has been working on. Fernando Polo has stated that Barcelona plan to return back to the Camp Nou on December 15th with a 60% capacity, meaning that we're going to be having around 63,000 people attending by December 15th, so later in this year, which is huge news because the fact that we're going to be able to introduce more fans to the stadium, that also means more income, because at the moment, the Olympic Stadium where Barcelona do play right now, there is a capacity of 55,926 people. So we are going to be having a 7,100 person increase when we do move back to the Camp Nou. Now, to put things into perspective, when we do open with 60% capacity, let's remember that the full stadium is yet to be assembled, and by the time we do have the full Spotify Camp Nou fully assembled with everybody coming in, we would be able to introduce 104,000 people to the stadium. Can you imagine that? The moment that ends up happening is going to be huge. Like, I would like to assume that by the time we do open fully to 104,000 people, Barcelona would have a world-class squad and a world beater type of squad. So slowly but surely, Joan Laporta is bagging in all of this money, all this potential income for the future, and of course is going to be affecting Barcelona's economics in a very positive way. Now, moving on towards the next conversation, I do want to speak about Danny Olmo because this has just came in, and it says here, according to Ferran Martinez, that Barcelona have informed Danny Olmo's agents that the club will try to sign him in the summer. He is one of the priorities. It has also been stated that the club is very serious about him. Danny Olmo's agents already know that Barcelona's objective is to approach the signing before the Euros. He has a 60 million euro release clause and Leipzig will not be flexible at all, but Barcelona will try to find a solution. And if you guys are wondering why would we want to lock down this deal before the Euros, it's because of two reasons. His release clause could increase if he does have a good performance throughout the Euros. Also, if he has a good performance throughout the Euros, more clubs, which is point number 2, more clubs are going to want to come in and bid for the player to take Danny Olmo away from Leipzig. And if that ends up happening, there is going to be a bidding war, and that is something that Barcelona do not want, which is why they want to lock down the deal before the Euros, because for sure I think that Danny Olmo will show his great talents throughout that tournament. I do expect a very good tournament coming from him because we have to remember that he is one of the veterans. Even though he's 25 years old, if you compare his age to the players that he's going to be playing with, you're going to be having Pedri, who knows, maybe Alejandro Balde, maybe Lamine Yamal, maybe Kubarsi. They're all going to be about 4 to 5 years younger than Danny Olmo. And if you guys do not know who Danny Olmo is, let's go on a quick recap. Right now, like it has been stated, he has a 60 million euro release clause. He's 25 years old, he's from Spain, he currently represents Leipzig, and he can play in many different positions. He can play on the attacking midfield position, the left wing position, the right wing position. He's a right footer. As a matter of fact, he'll be turning 26 next month, and he recently just signed a contract extension with Leipzig last year on June 1st, 2023, and now his contract will not expire until June 30th, 2027. If you look at his transfer history, yes, his foundation does come from FC Barcelona. He did start in Espanyol like a long time ago, but the majority of his foundation, like through his youth years, was coming from Barcelona. He went through Barcelona Youth, Barcelona Under 16, Barcelona Under 18, and then he went to Dynamo's second team in the 2014-2015 season. Then he eventually got promoted to the first team of Dynamo in 2015, and then eventually in 2020 he went to Leipzig, which was 5 years later. And from there it was history. Danny Olmo has only brought good things to Leipzig, and maybe this could be the time for him to finally make that next move. Currently in this season in the Bundesliga, he has played a total of 18 matches. In the Champions League he has played 3, and in the Super Cup he did play 1. So in total he has played 22 matches, and he has 8 goals and 5 assists. And it really makes you wonder, right? Now that I'm talking about Danny Olmo, it really does make you wonder that maybe one day eventually Barcelona might call in Xavi Simons, because Barcelona continue to go for ex-Barcelona players, like players that left about 7 to 80 years ago. We went for Eric Garcia, Adama Traoré, Oriol Romeo, and many other more. I feel like Barcelona again eventually will go for Xavi Simons. But going back to Danny Olmo, I think that his best season so far in his career has been the 2020-2021 season. I believe that was the first season he got introduced to Leipzig, or maybe the second season, I could be wrong. But in that season, he did score 5 goals and provided 9 assists. He was involved in 14 goals. He was also coached by Nagelsmann, a coach that was wanted by Barcelona, but unfortunately he did sign a contract extension with the German national team. But in that season, he was Leipzig's 4th best goal scorer and the best assist player for Leipzig with a total of 9. So he was very important to that team. And I remember through that season, Nagelsmann played in a 3-5-2 system with Danny Olmo kind of acting like a second striker in front of Forsberg. And throughout the years, he has been very consistent as a attacking midfielder. And again, sometimes going as a right winger or maybe as a left winger. I would assume that if he does come to Barcelona, he would play in Joao Felix's position to start on the left wing and then go inside and create with other players, because he has that type of capacity. His close control is amazing. His ability to drive the ball forward and to goal is also amazing. He can also pick out those through passes that can be very lethal, that leads to goals. Hence the reason why he has so many assists. He would be very welcomed at Xavi's Barcelona. I remember about 8 months ago, Danny Olmo had an amazing game against Bayern Munich. It was like in the beginning of this season. He played in the Super Cup against Bayern and he scored 3 goals. So he can score a lot of goals if he wants to and bring a lot of assists through the season. And I'm gonna assume that if Olmo does arrive this summer, he'll adapt very fast. Like very fast, because he knows the majority of the players at Barcelona, like Gavi, Pedri, Balde, Yamal, Kubarsi. It does seem like it's going to be a lot of fun for these players. And so I would welcome this player. But here's the thing. I want to make sure, okay, like I know that I have just talked about Danny Olmo and how great he is, but I want to make sure that Barcelona's priority is to sign a DM, not Danny Olmo first and then another left winger, second, and then a center back. Like, no, the DM position first. We must sign a central defensive midfielder that devotes his time as a full-time central defensive midfielder and can act like a lone pivot. We need that. So whether it's Zubimendi, Kimmich, Rodri, Amadou Onana, I know that many of you guys get annoyed by me saying Rodri, but I'm gonna continue to say it because we'll see what happens. So whether it's any of these players, they need to be the priority, not Danny Olmo. Like, yes, it sounds good. Like, yes, I know that he will be successful at the club and score many goals, provide assists, but the priority is the pivot position. I don't want to hear anything else. And it really does make me question that once Olmo does arrive, what does that say for a player like Joao Felix or Ferran Torres or Ansu? Like, what does this mean for the Barcelona club? Because like, if they're looking at Olmo, does that mean that they're going to give up on Joao Felix and have Olmo take on Felix's position? Or does it mean that they're looking at Olmo because they want a player just as versatile as Ferran Torres and let go of Ferran Torres since he hasn't been that impactful? Or could it mean that, they're probably looking away at Ansu Fati, they're looking to sell Ansu Fati fully in the summer and use those funds to bring in Olmo? I really wonder what's going to happen and the type of effects that is going to take place within the club if he does arrive. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.